Welcome to my weekly self-important Magic Gathering show. I hope my mic is pointing at me at a correct angle and I can be heard over my own music. Huh. I pressed the button, I don't know what that did. I don't see this picking it up. That's mildly interesting. Why did I open that? Oh, that's mildly interesting. Oh, that is in Google Chrome. Okay, so that is... Huh. Well, hopefully you hear something. Oh, my packages. Anyway, going over here. Last week, I think the Black Panther one. Yeah, hold on. Double checking myself. Yeah, it's Black Panther and Selesnya Ororo. I almost closed that tab for no reason. Okay, so now we're going to look at Gruul. What do we got? Wolverine, Fierce Fighter. Haste. When Wolverine enters, he fights up to one other target creature. If damage will be dealt to Wolverine, that much damage is dealt, but all other damage already dealt to him is healed. Man, I really want to make a Gruul fighting deck, but I think he would be better like in it than as the commander, because there's that one Gruul lady that you draw cards when you fight. I'd rather have her in the command zone. Stature, Young Avenger. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, she becomes a 4/4 until end of turn. That's interesting. Hulk, Gamma Goliath makes our power-up abilities cost 3 less, so his is 8, but it goes down to 5. Because of his own ability. Reach and Trample, that's cool. Not really a lead singer. Gert and Old Lace, Runaways. I would like to make a Runaways deck, but I don't know who would be the commander of it. Maybe the 5-color Nick Fury that's like way down in the in mono white, because his color identity is rainbow, but he himself is mono white. Trample. When they enter, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put in your hand. Whatever. Crystal, Inhuman Princess. She's in reality 4 colors. She is minus black. And that's cool just by itself. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, she deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of colors that spell is. I like her. You know what? Let's do that. Pull this back up just before we get. We're gonna just call this one Crystal Clear. Because another name I want probably won't get accepted. I was thinking Diamond Bullet. Just like a diamond bullet, I'm crystal clear. Oh yeah, I can slap a tornado. Inhuman Princess. Great deck. I'm not really much of a spell slinger. I'm not good at it for that type of deck. But this is minus black, so that's interesting. Let's check printings. Yep, okay, just... So she's got like water and fire. Adelan can't stay hidden forever. It's time we showed them how fantastic we are. Oh yeah, because the Inhumans kind of have a connection to the Fantastic Four. Now I think Human Torch, like, I think she has a thing. He has a thing for Crystal. I don't remember. That is some like old stuff I do not remember. We're gonna do this slow. Okay, so we'll do the 2 life ones. That's the Shocklands. We'll do the Tri-lands. Good starts by Jingle Punks, for the record. The previous one, whoops. Oh, this has been randomized, didn't it? Yeah, I did shuffle playlist. Oh, good, there's a ad I can skip past really quick. No, it is not. It was... This restarted randomly. Whatever. Because I don't think it made it all the way to the end, but whatever. That is not the one I meant to go back to. More basics. Number lands, Triome. 2 life. This one. 2 life. I don't know about the 8 or more lands one between your opponents combined. I would like a clarification on if it counts all combined. Although I guess that's what it is, because unless unopponent would be if they were only counting 1. Let's roll the top. This should cover all of them. Just saying 2 different ones. 2 life. Because there are 4 lands. Because we're not using swamps. So saying 2 of them should get us all permutations. Oh, except for the ones that are forest mountains, but not we'll get all the triomes, but we won't get all the duels. Okay, so we need to say 1 more. Glad I said all that out loud so I could correct myself before I was wrong. 2 life. And then, for ease of typing, we're skipping to forest. so I don't have to type out mountain. How many lands does that put me at? That only puts me at 10. We're going to want some basics, which I did not put any in. So we're going to go T-land. And honestly, since where they live, if I'm not mistaken, is in the middle of Antarctica, which is also where that other place is. Hold on. Well, I mean, images. Oh, that's in the North Atlantic. I was seeing if they would show it on a map. Anyway, I'm still going to use Snowlands. Yeah, we'll do 12 basics. Command tower. I heard that ad. Whoops, ant color. Any color. Clouds by Huma Huma. Oh, we'll take Avengers Tower. I don't play in groups that use counterspells, so we don't need that. It also makes City of Brass safe. I mean, okay, that's completely unrelated. City of Brass is safe because people are unlikely to play cards that'll tap my lands. But that's like just a low risk anyway. The Forbidden Orchard is tempting just because I don't use it. And, like, I want to see how bad giving my opponents 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens gets. Yeah, let's do it. Confluence. Path of Ancestry for the scrying. Plaza of Heroes because our deck is probably going. No, it'll be fine. We'll do that. We probably are going to have a lot of. Actually, no. There's. Wait, we can take this one out and that other one out because I just realized that we might not have a whole lot of heroes in this deck. Our commander doesn't care about them. But we're still keeping the Path of Ancestry. Because we do get at least one scry 1 off of it. Starting town. Scroll back to top. Go here. We're only at 29. It was Avengers Tower. Yeah, I was going to put a bunch of heroes in this deck for no reason. Or more. So we're at 28. Double checking. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And honestly, even though it gives me less total mana, we're taking out City of Brass. Mana Confluence. And Starting Town. Keeping the Forbidden Orchard. Path of Ancestry. And of course the Command Tower. There we go. That's a good set of lands. You know what? I don't want artifacts. Because artifact, well, unless they have colors, but all of the ramping artifacts have 0 colors. Although, they also have lower mana value than her. I still think that maybe we leave out Soul Ring. Maybe we don't. No. Soul Ring is too bustedly good. And we'll throw an Arc Sig. Farseek. Into the north, that's why I used all of those snowlands. There's at least 12, so I'm fine with that. I think we can still do rampant growth. And we'll throw in Sakura Tri-Boulder. Why not? Shared roots. Huh. I feel like we're missing something right about here. Oh, you know why? Because those aren't going to say land, they're just going to say forest. Okay, Glimpse the Core only grabs basic forests, but these grab any forests. That puts us at 9 ramp at least. And then she herself is a piece of ramp. And these are... Okay, Sakura Tri-Boulder is a creature spell, but the rest of them are non-creature spells, for what it's worth. Even though you kind of want to get some of them before you get her on the field. To help get her on the field, like, 1 turn sooner. Oh, and... I mean, we do want some creatures, and Birds of Paradise is also mana fixing, and honestly removal bait. Although maybe... Sorry, I'm changing how I'm sitting. Maybe less... Is it more or less removal bait in lower power pods? I know in more competitive games, Bolt the Bird is a maxim. I did not get to that ad in time. Okay, we'll do our removal, which will be mostly white. T instant order CMC. Oh, we'll go destroy first and then exile. Berserk is a great card. It's just great. I know a lot of these are only going to do 1 damage to our opponent because they're only 1 color, but I'm not sacrificing efficient removal for think we need any of these 2/1s. What was I saying? We're not sacrificing efficient removal just for our deck's game plan. I think we're just scrolling to 3. Which I know is a conflicts with our commander, but we're hoping to play our commander sooner, so. Beast Within. Emergency Exit. Generous Gift. Stroke of Midnight. Mountain Dub by Gunnar Olsen. And then we hit 4, so. Because there's no black in this deck, I didn't think there was any good removal at 4 mana value. Erode is in this deck, right? I didn't skip over that. I did. There we go. Path. Swords. Nature's Claim. I forgot to grab that one. Again, it's instant, 1 mana, artifact or enchantment. So that's 10, I believe. I still use those guides as a guide. 12. So 2 more. We're going to check. Oh, no, not that window. I don't think there. Actually, no, there might be stuff in 2 mana value. I can think of 2 things, actually. If we're hitting the 2 mana values, it's going to be the. Let's go all the way over to 8. Huh, 6. I just wanted to skip ahead to 3 mana value. Actually, I could just do this. Oh, excise the imperfect. Exile target non-land imperfect. They incubate X, where X is the mana value. Huh. I want to give that card a shot. Vanish into Eternity is good for not creatures, and honestly not very good for creatures because it costs 6 for creatures, 3 for everything else. That might still be good. I just like the versatility. Can I control Z? Yes. We go down here. We jump to 3. We're still at 2. Because the ones here that I would have used were Parting Gust, which says non-token creature, which is actually non-zero number of times bit me in the butt. And then Reality Shift if I would have stuck to mana value 2. I think, yeah, I think I'm good with what I picked. Okay, so that's at the top. Putting that as targeted. The command zone, you know, they're the one who made the outline that I use, that I imagine a lot of people either use or hate. They call it disruption, but I'm like, for the single target, I'm going to call that removal. Still. Even if like it bounce effects is disruption, not removal per se. But since I don't, or oh, another thing I like doing, the flash auras that remove abilities. I love using those. That's definitely disruption and not removal. Or Imprison on the Moon, which I don't put into these decks because these decks aren't meant to be super hyper competitive, and that is a jerk thing for jerks to do. And the reason why I'm not messing with the deck right now is that I need to move that. Apparently that was the only thing I needed to move. There we go. My cushions were migrating off the side of my chair situation. Here we go. Okay, so now for 6 pieces of mass disruption. Curse of the Swine. There's a the in there, and I sometimes forget it. And then Settle the Wreckage. I know that ramps them a lot, but sometimes you just want all of their attacking creatures just to go away. Aetherize. Aether Spouts. Heliod's Intervention. And Pest Infestation. And once again, I know that I have a lot of cards in this deck that are only one color. This is just like doing my basics, and as we go further in, because I know we're at like 66 total cards with the lands. So that's what, 30, 36. We're at 29 cards, not counting the lands, out of 63. And we have like 2 creatures in here. Neither of them are going to attack or defend for us. But like we can take these cards out for other cards. These are just the things that I know that I like and work. But we can look at other stuff soon. But let's get creatures now. T creature O non-creature spell. Actually, is permanent order CMC. There. Things that care about non-creature spells that are permanents. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this gets +1/+1 counter, and then can be sacrificed for damage to creatures only as a sorcery. Nope. Oh, Deafening Silence would definitely mess us up. Mystic Remora, Hope of Kiriper, Gran, Esper Sentinel. Okay, she cares about lessons, and we're not messing with that. Okay, that's... Elysium Masters, Skilled Sculptor. I was thinking about Kin Masters, and I'm like, that's not that. But it's Ben's girlfriend, and she's blind. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you cast a non-creature spell, create a treasure. At the beginning of end step, each player gains control of all creatures they own. Oh, that's neat. I don't know if this deck needs that, but that's cool. Getting the treasures is neat. I don't care about things like this Coruscation Mage, where it deals damage when you cast a non-creature spell. I'm not too worried about that. I'm looking for other bonuses for casting of non-creature spell. Although I should go to the top. You cast a... I don't like how long that's taking. Here we go. That's oil counters over there. That's oil counters again. That's oil counters again. That's mildly interesting. Discard a card to draw a card. Additional non-combat damage. Not sure I'd pay for all of that, but that is mildly interesting. The thing gets +1/+1 counters. Huh. Some mana value based recursion. That's mildly interesting. The Moku. You can pay 1 when you cast a non-creature spell to give this thing +2/+1, and all creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. You get treasure if you cast non-creature spells with mana value 4 or greater. Red Mage's Rapier. This creature equipped creature gets bigger when you cast non-creature spells. This thing becomes a creature. At least 4 mana. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, makes haste only haste blockable. Lore counters. Sprite Dragon gets bigger with +1/+1 counters. I'm not too sure about that. I want here we go. Third path Iconoclast. That's the kind of thing I want. We get colorless soldier artifact creature token. Man, I loved the Final Fantasy set, but the 4 or more mana thing wasn't good. Boarcupine, that's cool. It gets +1/+1 counters. This thing goads creatures. That's mildly interesting. Indestructible until end of turn. That's incubate. That's like the Typhoon, only worse. Proliferate, not really necessary. No. Okay, death to our enemies. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a trap treasure token. Okay, I'm down with that. And put a plan counter on this enchantment. When the 4th plan counter is put on this enchantment, sacrifice it. When you do it, deals 7 damage to one or 2 targets. I don't know if that's worth it, but I do like that card a little bit. That one has to pay 1. This one cares about planeswalkers. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures can get +1/+1 until end of turn and tap those creatures. Considering our commander is a mana dork, I actually kind of like Jeskai Ascendancy. I don't know how good it'll actually be, but I do like the idea of tapping her for mana more than once, or tapping her for mana and then also attacking. Makes creature bigger because from mana value of non-creature spell. This thing can crew for free. Oh, Monastery Mentor. It makes us our monks with prowess. Oh, flying prowess. Okay. Oh, +1/+1 counter on each other creature. That's actually good. Okay, Namor gets us +1/+, or gives us 1/1 Merfolk. Okay, Namor's good. Okay, this one's specifically blue mana pip, so that's not going to help us here. Oh, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, tap target creature or land. That's mildly interesting. And also would have messed us up back when we had certain lands in our deck. Okay. Then give creatures double strike. We can draw a card on X spell 4 or on spell 4 or more. Also, she gets bigger, but that's... If we can manage to cast 4 non-creatures in the same turn, we get 4/4/4 artifacts with flying and haste. Mildly interesting. Non-creature spells as though they had flash. Oh, Broken Vivi. Throw that into the deck. Because while its own +1/+1 counters just gives us, just more mana. And we could maybe... I don't know if I take out any of my other ramp. But that's cool. Because again, he's a mana dork, and also crazy removal bait. Okay, this cares about a bunch of creature types that aren't in this deck. Like the non-creature spells, though I have flash, was nice, but I don't think we're gonna take. Oh, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Can we take off the foil? No. Okay. Making a creature unblockable is cool. And giving all of our creatures prowess is also cool. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Black Bolt gets bigger. Whenever Black Bolt becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy target ally and permanent that player controls. You know what? Ward your best thing without hexproof or shroud. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, surveil one, only it doesn't say that on it. It doesn't say surveil. Blink a thing. Non-creature spell, you get a bird. Whenever you attack with one or more birds, scry 2. That's fine. I love getting creatures for casting non-creature spells. Oh, give ourselves spirits. But if only we could. But we get spirits and we can sacrifice them for red mana. It becomes a copy of stuff. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, choose one. Exile another target creature you control. Okay, that's blink. Or you get a spirit. You know, we'll do both Kaikars. Kaikar and then Kaikar with -1 color. Mildly interesting. Our goal is like basically exactly 20 creatures and like not going over that. Target creature gets flying. You get a red dragon illusion with haste that you have to get rid of at the end of turn with power and toughness equal to the mana value. It's flying tone turn with +1 counter. I looked up here, read this, I got excited. But then I saw this, and I'm like, oh, not that long shot. Yeah, we're not doing that in our set. The Vision. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. He gets double strike until end of turn. He gets indestructible until end of turn. Or you can draw a card. How much is he? He's 4? Yeah. We'll throw them in there, because at least we have the option to draw a card. Non-creature spell, 2 life. Allies. Oh, but he makes allies. You know what? That's fine. He supports himself. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, draw a card. That's only once a turn. That is impulsive draw that I'm not a fan of. Because it says next in step, but like, so that means if you cast them during your own turn, You're only getting it that turn. She's expensive. But she's also a 6/6, and she creates this Phyrexian Goblins. That's fine. And at this point, we don't need the Shark Typhoon, because we got a lot of creatures doing that kind of stuff. We're not doing Primeval Bounty. Huh. Okay. Explain. The first sentence explains why this thing costs 6. At the beginning of your first main phase, add 4 mana of any combination of colors. Whenever you cast non-creature spell, you may copy it. Oh, and then new targets for the copy. You know what? That's nonsense. Okay, he deals damage to stuff. Oh, he gets a hero. And then the 4 more, which I normally don't like, but at least it's on top of something else. And then 8, he explodes. So that's kind of cool. Okay, you're moving to tokens because that's what I care about. Oh, please tell me tokens is a section. There you are. And then yeah, you're definitely ramp. I know, like technically, or I don't know if technically is the right word, but in my opinion, there's something very wrong with the thing in that picture. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But if it costs 6, it ain't ramp. But, you know. I mean, it's also copying spells, but I don't have a section for that. And what are we at? We are at 83, so we can have 17 more cards. Now let's see what these things do. Okay, this thing can draw a card, so this thing go into targeted removal. You go into tokens. And then I guess you can go into counters. I think we can drop Sakura Tribe Elder. at 15 creatures. I do kind of want 5 more creatures. And then we'll start looking into more. And what's nice is it says non-creature spells, not instants and sorceries. That's very important. And honestly, we as much as I like them, all of these 3 mana removal pieces, those might be the first ones to go, depending on what ends up in. Because while I like their versatility, maybe we can get better stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go to EDH Rec. We're gonna go to creatures because I'm interested. Bloom Tender because it can give us up to 4 mana. Fabro Elder also does that. I understand. Noble Hierarch gets us 3 out of our 4 colors. Delighted Halfling makes our commander uncounterable, but remember, that's not as important to us. How did I miss Mr. Fantastic? At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you cast a non-creature spell this turn, draw a card. Boom. And I think we'll put in her for the treasure token. Oh, wow. Discover 6? Sure, why not? Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with mana value 6 or less. Cast it without paying its mana cost. Or put it in your hand. The rest of the bottom of your library in random order. So that's 3 right there. She creates walls. Oh, Tandem Lookout. Soulbound. As long as Tandem Lookout is paired with another creature, each of those creatures have, whenever this creature deals combat damage to or deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. That's good. So that's our 4th. And then Flying, Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Whenever Power Pack deals combat damage to a player, exile at target answer sword from your graveyard, chosen at random. Okay, we're not doing that. That's neat. Oh, I put whenever you cast. This is if you've cast. Hold on. That's a whole nother syntax. I'm trying to remember what I had here. Oh, it was like permanent. But this should be fine. The Council of Reeds. The legend rule doesn't apply to creatures you control. Well, that's cool. Living comment every current if cast non-creature spell. Create a token that's a copy of Council of Reeds. Okay, we're not doing... Are we not doing that? It is a 2/2. You know, it is a 2/2. Even though it's only for 3. That'll probably replace something else. Because we're not... I mean, we can go up to 25, but I'll probably take out some of the more either expensive token makers or tokens that are garbage. Or tokens that care about mana value? No. The ones... Okay, I was thinking about that, but if it's number equals mana value, that's fine. But if power toughness equals mana value, that's whatever. That's Surveil. At the beginning of combat every turn, if you cast a non-creature spell this turn, Human Torch gains Flying, Double Strike, and Haste until end of turn. Okay, yeah. We'll put in all of the Fantastic Four into the deck. Actually, maybe not, because honestly, Reed's the only one that's any good. Like, this one makes himself a better attacker. She creates a garbage wall. She does make a creature unblockable, but you have to pay 4 for it. And Thing just puny gods Thanos. Okay, how many creatures did that put me up to? You know, we're going to count the Discover as draw, even though it plays the cards for free. You can go into tokens, and you can go into ramp. So types. Oh, we're at 20 creatures, so we're good. That is a fine number of creatures. 16 instants, 8 sorceries, 3 enchantments, and 2 artifacts. Well, we're going to get... And we are at 87, so we're going to have 13 more things. Because we're at 21 total creatures with our commander. And then 37 lands, so that's 58, I think. Right? Let me... Yeah, 37, 38, 48, 58. So that's 42 non-creature spells. I think that's fine. We're definitely going to want stuff with more colors, so we're going to go over here to see what other people think. Artifacts. I just want to see if there's anything. Yeah, they kind of want to protect her, but nope. Enchantments. Oh, Franklin's Finality. Oh, that's Annie's Join Up. Okay. When it enters, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And then, oh, it doubles your triggered abilities. Okay, I understand. Trace of Abundance is 3 colors. This is also 3 colors. That's the stuff I'm looking at. It's stuff that's multiple colors. Enchanted Land has Shroud. Whenever Enchanted Land is tapped for mana, its controllers add 1 mana of any color. Oh, that's an interesting ramp piece. Also means that they can't target the... You can't target the land with further enchantments, and they can't target the land for removal. That's mildly interesting. And then this doubles the trigger of our commander. So that's interesting. I don't hate either of those. And I could honestly take out another ramp piece for Trace of Abundance. Okay, you're targeted removal. You Spangler Monkey. Can we move you over here now? No. We will drop Shared Roots. Oh, great. We are still watching Roll and Drop by Jingle Punks. Oh, you got gotta be farting all over me. Now it says my token's not valid. That's a lot of decks. And I don't dare. This token isn't valid anymore. Let's go to home. Oh, I can move these. And shared roots. And honestly, we can jump rampant growth too. We're keeping Into the North for now. If Into the North leaves, then we're trading all of the snow lands for regular lands. So we are at 89. We are at 20 creatures. I just wanted to double check that. Then we went here. Go to enchantment. Is that the song? Or is something going on outside that I need to avoid? Growth Spiral. Boros Charm. I understand. First Family. Draw X cards, X life, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. And spells you cast this turn. Okay. Manamorphose is kind of a funny card. You cast it for 1 in either red or green, but then you get back any 2 colors of mana that you want, and you draw a card. And it is a 2-color spell, for the record. Whew. The charms, I understand. Especially the 3-color charms. Planeswalkers are not creatures, so I wanted to check. A lot of these I have a feeling are because of precons. The 5 arrive. Oh, it's Genesis Ultimatum. Look at the top 5. Hold on. The 5 arrive. Oh, this is Earth 982. Okay. Because there's like thing, but he has a mechanical thing, and I don't. Oh, and there's a scroll on the team. Okay. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put a number of permanent cards from among them into the battlefield, and the rest into your hand. Exile 5. The 5 arrive. Sure, we'll play that. It's some nonsense high end stuff. -T. Creature. Color. Word. And order. Color. I should have known that. Wow, that took off like 2,000. Okay, 2 color stuff. Color stuff. That should be the, let's see, blue green, I think, is the last one in the order. Okay, so yep. So now we're at 3 color. Okay, that gets us free cards. Huh. Mael's Aria, you can win the game if you have a creature with power 20 or greater. That's mildly interesting. Titanic Ultimatum. That's a lot of mana for Overrun. Or a lot of different mana for Overrun, I should say. The 3/5s of Inspired Ultimatum. Snake's Dragons on landfall. Not really what our deck cares about. Oh, there we go. Yep. Ten more cards. Yeah. Gotta change how I'm sitting again. I do not have any more chicken sandwiches to eat. That is fine. It's fine. Sad, but fine. Can I just put in the word job? I'm just checking to see if any of these have more than one color. Nope, sad. Because now that we're at the very end of the deck, and I gotta get up again. This one... Oh, this entire stack of cushions is off-center in a way that is bothering me. Or can I sit like this and be fine? I don't... Well, try sitting like this for a while. For Mirrodin has a chance of having two color stuff, but I do want to... How do I... Let's see. O tag Bant. Whoops. Bant? No. Is Bant? Order color. So we go down here. We go down to the end. I know that's getting everything. Oh, hold on. Is oh no. Minus T creature minus T land and minus T artifact, because I can't think of any artifacts or colors that I... Oh. I can't think of any multicolor artifacts. But you know, I can just search for artifacts at a separately. Super state. Okay, that actually takes up fewer pages than I thought it would, because we're already at E for Eldrazi. Oh, now we're at the devoid stuff. That's technically no colors. Okay, go to the bottom. Okay, Teamer counts as Bant, apparently. I have a feeling this is the, whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand. I feel like there's something there that I am not even remotely smart enough to figure out. I mean, I feel dumb for not just doing that. And then minus T. Sure. The broken ascendancy, although I don't think we're going to do that in this one. Huh. Neat exalted thing right there. Crystallization is mildly interesting. You temporarily impede a creature. It can't attack or block, but its abilities can still be activated. But if the enchanted creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, it just gets exiled. That is mildly interesting, and it's 2 mana, 3 colors. That kind of stuff is efficient. And that's probably the kind of stuff I should be looking at. Yeah, let's start putting that in. And if we go over 100, that's when we'll start taking stuff out. Flurry of Wings. What's Warpgate do? I keep looking at it. Oh, you just tutors a thing with a permanent with a specific mana value straight into play. Huh. I don't think there's anything cool enough in my deck that I want to do that. Flurry of Wings. Put X 1/1 white bird soldier creature tokens with flying into play, where X is the number of attacking creatures. I do think that's fun. And Clarion Ultimatum doesn't do a whole lot in Commander unless you have that one of those, you can have any number of the same creature kind of thing. And then red. Not sure about Inspired Ultimatum. Someone gains 5 life, someone takes 5 damage, and we draw 5 cards. The drawing of 5 cards, I guess. Sure, why not? That doesn't do anything for our deck. The flagship, even though I'm a fan of it. I am also keeping an eye out for things that are 3 or more colors with cheaper mana values. Okay. Oh, Fiery Justice. 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets, and the target opponent just eats 5. That's fine. Incandescent Aria. Oh, each non-token creature. That's neat. Put a +1 counter on each creature you control if we have a creature with power 5 or greater. I don't know if we have that natively. 4/4, 2/3, 3/3. Win. Beginning of upkeep, so prowess and stuff like that won't matter. Mr. Fantastic is a 2/4. Vision's 2/5. Power, not toughness. Franklin's a 6/6. I hate this so much. So we have one thing. I don't think Elysium Masters is... Nope, 04. Theoretically, VV. Yeah, we do not have a large selection of stuff to trigger that first part. Because that first part's the important part. We need something with power 5 or greater. And then 5 turns later, we can gain life. And then 10 turns after that, we can win the game. Winter's Night to double the mana from our Snowlands. We're not doing that, but that's funny. Titanic Ultimatum. First strike, lifelink, and trample. I mean, sure, why not? Like, I kind of just want to finish this deck. I like it, but I have discovered that I'm probably not good at this. And, yep, that's the last one that needs to change. Although I'm very it's very interesting to me that there was only one card that was not a creature spell that we could get 3 colors with just 2 mana. Oh no, there were 2. There were 2. There was one in Bant and one in Naya. The Dragon Assault, the Strike, Guided Passage. I don't like dealing with split cards. This is hilarious. It's a sorcery that makes us a 5/5 elephant. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its harmonized cost. You may tap a creature you control that reduce the cost by X, where X is its power. Which is cool because you could, if you have 5, 6, 7, 8 total mana, you could cast and tap your Mammoth to get a second Mammoth. But you'd have to have 2 green, 2 blue, 2 red, and 2 other. To do it all in the same turn at any rate. You know what? Fine. Oh, hey, look, this makes 2 elephants over 2 turns. Sure, why not? What are we at? Wow, we're at 97. Finisher, I understand. Creatures we control have haste, but it cares about power 4 or greater, so that ain't a thing. Okay, okay, so this is, this deals with +1/+1 counters, but this is also Tyranids, so I wouldn't put it in this deck, but this is a cool card. It basically full powers your Hydras, or at least, you know, 1 Hydra a turn, or 1 Hydra that first time. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If its mana value contains an X, it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of lands you control. I think that is neat as all heck. I didn't really see anything more in the 3 colors, sadly, so we might have to go down to 2 colors. I'm going to type in joins up. Because if that didn't make it into the deck in any of the other... Okay, good. The double trigger. I guess we'll do Kellen joins up. We can plot a cheap thing. On its entry. And then whenever we play a legendary creature, which I don't know how many we... actually, how many legendary creatures do we have? Just realized that might not... Okay, I don't think we have enough legendary creatures for that to matter. Never mind. It was a neat idea until I realized that it didn't really go anywhere. I wonder if this will get it. Nope. I should have known better, but there we go. Equip abilities cost 1 less to look at for each for other things. Equip creature has double strike. That's not really good enough. I'm looking at these because they make more creatures. They make 2/2 red rebels. I know this is going to get a lot of results. But I kind of want to see something. Aha. Oh, and actually... Aragorn the Unifier is actually pretty good in this deck. But it's for the color of spells. She cares about total color of spells, and he cares about individual colors. Ugh. I think I'm going to leave him out, but yeah, he is a good card. And then T Artifact. Oh, and still minus T creature. Minus T creature. A vehicle is not a creature until you make it one, so it's a non-creature spell. Archaeomancer's Map, that's basic planes. Avacyn's Memorial, that's too many of one, but I'm actually going to go to the 13th page, because there are a non-zero number of these, but there's only one 3-color, but it's a but it only really affects other artifacts. So, Ranger's Aether Hive, that's exhaust abilities. Creature tokens have flying. I do want to create a non-zero number of tokens. And this thing can turn my small tokens into bigger tokens for a cost. Though, I don't feel like that's all that good. Agent's Toolkit. It's a clue that can also put plus multiple counters on stuff. Raven Clan War Axe. That it tutors a specific person that is not in this deck. Hook Swords. Oh, it makes an ally. And it gives first strike on your turn. Interesting. Cloudspire Sky Cycle. 2 plus some counters among 1 or 2 other vehicles and or creatures. Okay. That's the equip thing. We're not worried about that. Oh, I'm going to need to check this again. 3 more. We only need 3 more, so we're just kind of looking at stuff. Arc of Hunger. Oh, cards leaving our graveyard. Mentor. Oh, when you mentor, they get a shield counter. That's neat. Oh, the belligerent, when it attacks, we get a treasure token, and we can look at the top card of our library anytime and play lands and cast spells from the top part of our library. There we go. That's good. It's additional card draw and ramp, theoretically, on at least one of those. Collect evidence. Energy. I don't feel like reading a sideways card. Draw and discard. Investigate twice. Needs to sacrifice artifacts. Oh, did I did put a card into the deck. Okay, I just wanted to check. Basic land. Trample. Trample and lifelink. Target creature you control. 1/1. Taps a creature. That's neat. Oh, when this thing attacks, we create a treasure token, and then you can exhaust to make it a creature token, creature permanently. I do like that, and it's also cheap. Oh, we're at single color here, so we don't. And I'm not putting the one Infinity Stone that we can put in here. I am mildly looking forward to what the other 3 Infinity Stones are, and put them in a commander deck, and then have another card whose only job is to tutor Infinity Stones specifically. Assimilation Aegis. That exiles a thing. That cares about modified creatures. Bioorganic Carapace. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. I don't quite recognize the reference. Nope. Oh, these are dual land artifacts. They can pay 1 and bounce a land. Oh, those are neat. Okay, that costs way too much. Prodigy's Prototype. Untap another target permanent. I just end up doing that because how many spots do we have left? One. Door to Durin. Whenever you attack for I2, you may remove your library. If it's a creature from the battlefield tapped and attacking until your next turn gains trample. If you control a dwarf, next. Okay. Oh. Like, if you were playing with Rule 0 and you can make this your commander, I totally would. I would build that deck. The Dwarf Elf Alliance deck with Doors of Durin as the commander. Huh. I'm honestly really interested in the border posts now. Because then you pay 1 and it's return a basic, for the record. And I know I'm leaning in to talk because I'm just getting a better look at it. So they're kind of mostly for 2-color decks, but that is because you can tap the basic you plan on returning to your hand anyway. And if you haven't played your land that turn, there you go. That's cool. Oh, but Mage Slayer is actually really cool. Whenever equipped creature attacks, deals damage equal to its power to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Sure, we'll do that. Like, this deck is mildly not good, I think. But I do like... Oh, we gotta move all those things. Oh, never mind. I forgot that I was still in typing, not categories. Hey, 8 things that call themselves draw. That ain't the worst. Although, some of the things... We are going to call this Mass Disruption. And we're not going to remove any Mass Disruption for it because it's... Yeah. And then this is Targeted Removal. That... I mean... The thing is that I could take out some of these monocolored cards. But then I'd have to go back and find more cards to put in, and I don't know. Don't know. I see why they call this evasion, because you have a chance of... Because even if you get blocked, you still do the damage to the player. I do like the deck. Oh, well, the Vision is a creature, so it doesn't matter how many colors he is. Oh, why do I have 39 lands? Oh, an extra snow-covered mountain got into here. And an extra snow-covered forest. And now we're at 98 again. Well, I'm glad I didn't close this. We will pay 4 to untap another target permanent because I am... Oh, Assimilation Agents is actually kind of cool. Because it exiles a creature, and if you exile something good, you can equip one of your creatures with it and it becomes a copy of the exiled creature. Okay. I put an objectively bad card in this deck. Targeted removal. And I actually don't know what section it put itself into. Oh, put itself in an untapped section. Way down here at the bottom. It says another target permanent, so we can untap anything we want. Yeah, okay. That's this deck. I called it crystal clear, but that's a lie. Click this, click that. It's almost 2 hours just to do her. I'm gonna do another deck, just well, because I want to, obviously. I'm gonna. Yep, you were asking me if I'm still watching. Oh, and it was in the middle of an ad too. Energize, Jingle Punks. Anyway, we can. Wait, no, we close this. Oh, 2 messages. View your activity. Nope, don't care. New deck. There we go. Okay, so we were at Absorbing Man in Titania is the next one. Double all damage that creature sources you control will deal. Abomination, Terrifying Titan. It says trample with a power up ability, where he fights something and gets bigger. Whenever Typhoid Mary attacks, choose one at random. If you discarded a card this turn, you choose one instead. Get a treasure, draw a card. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Oh, and she's 3/3 for 3. I feel like she could go, like, depending on what else was in that deck, that she can go into my poor life choices deck. Because doing things at random is a poor life choice. I do like her. Doesn't really belong at the head of a deck, but she could find herself in another deck. The Ruinous Wrecking Crew enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, and when it enters, you choose up to X. Can you choose something more than once? No, I don't think you can. Draw a card, then discard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Destroy a token, and each player sacrifices a creature of their choice. Meh. Madam Hydra. Whenever you cast a villain spell, so if I was going to do villains, which I think I did, it wouldn't just be these 2 colors. Well, now I gotta go here. We finished you. Wow, you are 4 color. There it is. -1. Oh wait, no, you all go into Marvel. That's right. Glad I caught myself. Widow's Peak, Age of Ultron, the deck with the cards, Weapon X. Oh yeah, these were all the Secret Lair ones. Age of Ultron. They cared about. I think I cared about villains in this one, sort of, but I cared more about robots and constructs. This one didn't care about villains specifically. Oh, that's funny. This Wakanda deck no longer needs to exist with my other with my newer Wakanda deck. Because I imagine this one doesn't have all the Wakanda cards in it. Nope. It's more built around his actual ability. Okay, so I haven't made a villains deck. So I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to call it villains for now. Or villainy? Villainy, right? That's how it's spelled? Yeah, okay. T, villain order, color. Go to the last page. Oh, now we're at the ones with the fuse color. He does the extinction event. When Loki attacks, create a tapped attacking creature that's a token copy of another target villain you control. Except it isn't legendary, and it's an illusion. And then it goes away at the beginning of the next end step. And then we get to draw cards on one or more villains hitting a player. And then if we want to do the connive thing, that's right here. We're going to hold off on this Loki the Deceiver deck until... go back to home. Until we're doing typo stuff, if I'm being honest, even though it fits in with Marvel. So we might do it towards the end of this set. Anyway, Ares, God of War, attacks each combat if able. Whenever an attacking creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand. I'm pretty sure I've made decks like this with that other Rakdos creature, and I am going to get up because I want to change how I'm sitting. This time for real, because I want to sit back over where I was before, so I got to move these cushiony bits. But yeah, she was Was she Rakdos, or was she Gruul, or was she Mardu? No, I don't think she had green in her. So she was either Rakdos. Yeah. Lower back complained on one of those attempts. Here we go. Moving them also mildly fluffs them, I guess. So that's good. So now I'm sitting a little higher. There's Ultron Unlimited. We skipped ahead to him. Bullseye enters. You may sacrifice an artifact or discard an online card. When you do, it deals 2 damage to any target. And then you can pay 3, which is basically his mana value again, but without a color restriction. And then do that again. So he can shock. He can shock anybody for 3 mana and discarding a card, or sacrifice an artifact. That's pretty neat. Ooh, actually. Huh. I'm going to put both of these 2 in the deck for now. Printings, setting him as the commander. Does he have any other cooler printings? No? Okay, cool. Edit category. Alt Commander. Although that's for a completely different deck. Whenever you discard a card, 1 or more land cards, each opponent loses 2 life. At the beginning of combat in your turn, target ability control gains minutes until end of turn and connives. That's where you draw a card, discard a card, and if the card was not a land, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. A lot of villains natively connive, so that's fine. And I believe these are the two commanders from the Freecon. But anyway, we have them right here, so we don't have to worry about losing them. But I'm doing this new deck because I just got an idea. I just want to type it like that instead of one word. Oh, he only had the one card. I don't think he had any alternate. Oh, yeah, he has a cool alternate printing. We're also going to set him as his commander. I forgot to do that. In a Bullseye. Save. Yes, okay, cool. Whatever that last song was, had a cool ending. Voodoo Like You Do by Huma Huma, I guess. Nope, it wasn't that. It was The Driving Force by Jingle Punks. And this is Road to Moscow by Jingle Punks. Just for the record. And that is not the window I wanted to go to. Let's get our lands. T land, T swamp. Or T mountain. I just realized that there might be a mountain besides basic mountain that I want to put into this deck. Pay to life, cycling. We don't need the Dwarven Mine. We'll take the Geothermic Bog. We will take the regular mountain. We'll take the Surveil Land. We'll take the one that wants 2 or more basics. We don't need the snow ones. Take this regular swamp. And we don't need the Witch's Cottage. Oh, but we'll press this button several more times. And the 2 more might help if we do this. Two or more opponents, 2 or more other lands. So we'll probably find more stuff than I'm looking for, but I'll find the stuff I am looking for. Oh, Arena of Glory is good. We can exert it to give something haste. Do we want to amass orcs? Nah. 2 or fewer other lands? Hold on. I have to brush my hair because I have an itch on my head. And this. And also my back itched. Have I said on this program that I need to cut my hair? I really should. E. Yeah, when my head itches, dragging a brush through it helps because, well, hey, look at all that hair that's no longer on my head. That was probably the cause. Anyway, the Verge. Control a basic or it entered this turn. That's actually a really good one. Unless you control. I'm glad they're making more basics or more duels. So 6 more lands, more duels with different with different requirements. Sure, we'll do the Rakdos Carnarium? Huh. Oh, the Tainted Peak. So now we're down to 4, because I can count and remember. Ah, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. It only needs 5 5 other mountains. Just in case this becomes a mountain without losing its abilities. So now we're down to 3? Yep, okay. Let's look through this. 1, 2. Okay, we have 2 things that only tap for red. That's mildly important. I was using my back scratcher on my head instead of my brush. The brush is the first line of defense because it gets all the hair going in the same direction. It makes it easier for the back scratcher to just get in there and not tangle. So Cabal Coffers, because it can theoretically get us mana based on our swamps. We're not going to do Nykthos because I don't know how heavy our devotion to any one color is. Well, I am gonna look up Nykthos. Is that what it was spelled? Yeah. Okay, you choose a color at the time of activation. That was the thing I was looking for, the foreboding ruins. And that puts us at 36. And to be lazy, command tower. And the card that made me want to put Bullseye in this deck. Nope, not that one. Hold on. Weapons manufacturing. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions with, when this token leaves the battlefield, it does 2 damage to any target. This card is the whole reason behind this deck. And we don't have any way of tutoring it because it is an enchantment. Oh no, we do have lots of ways of tutoring it, but we're not going to use them. I was about to, like, wait, we're in black. We can tutor whatever we want, but we're not going to. And we're going to retitle this category The Dream. The dream is just having that in there. Oh, and discard a non-land card for the record on Bullseye, Death Dealer. That makes sense. He doesn't throw mountains at people. He throws small baloney. He's that one Moon Knight meme, random baloney go. And now yeah, okay. Those in the correct order. Oh. We got to give it a second. I'm going to drink the last of the water I have here. This is an annoying thing that I do not think happens with other websites of this nature, but I still think that this website looks best on video. I'll open this in the new tab. Okay. There we go. And then it's going to complain at me. So I'm going to... Okay. Whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, choose a colorless... Oh, create a colorless artifact token named Scrap. Okay. That gives me a reason to sacrifice my non-token artifacts. Ah, Scrap has no abilities. What set is this from? Brothers War Commander. Then we can pay 1 in a red, sacrifice an artifact, choose 1. Put a +1 counter on this creature, gains menace until end of turn. Go to creature or discard a card, then draw a card. Not too impressed with the things it can do. But I like... Oh, sorry. Just the spots on my head that are itchy are really itchy. But the fact that if we sacrifice a non-token artifact, we get an extra thing. The problem is that he can only be tapped once, and I don't think we're in the colors that are going to untap him unless we give ourselves extra combats, which sounds inefficient. Ooh. Is it Marvin? Come on. That way he can do it too. What did this thing do? Put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. That token gains haste at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, that doesn't work because this guy's legendary. Oh, there was an O tag for this. But we'll worry about that after we read the rest of these. Whenever a non-token artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless target opponent has Pia's Revolution, deal 3 damage to him or her. You know what? Oh, and then we're going to... You know what? I don't care about his abilities. I just like that he gives me scrap. Just dragging across my head. There's still more like loose hair on my head, and I think that's what it was. Bleh. Oh man. Some days I think I should just shave my head to get rid of it. Improvise. Whenever a non-token artifact you control put into graveyard from the battlefield, you get a servo. Oh, hey, look, she costs 5, but she still replaces it, so that's cool. The Master, Gallifrey's End. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, choose an opponent with more life among your opponents. That player gets a villainous choice. They lose 4 life, or you create a token that's a copy of that card. You know what? Sure, and I'll just have to make sure to put in artifact creatures. Reason to run Solemn Simulacrum. Because 4 life is no joke. And that's his power, so it's like, I either get a copy of this or you let me punch you in the face. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, okay, that's that has nothing to do with the rest of this deck. So I like all of those. Copy, theoretical recursion. These make tokens. Yep, that's fine. They don't go into the dream because their tokens aren't as funny as the munitions tokens. O tag, is it copy legendary? Aha. But that's tapped and attacking. Oh, but it's an enters effect. Ding. Enters. So, yes. And then Gogo can become a copy of it. And then we can get around the attack this turn if able if we use their effect. Oh, Helm of the Host. I'll take any reason to put that card into a deck. The legend rule doesn't apply to spiders you control. That doesn't really matter. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may copy it. Yeah, too bad Bullseye isn't a spider. Sacrifice an artifact. Trade a coupon that's the copy of another target creature you control, except it isn't legendary. Gains haste, sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. I like this. Exile target creature card from your graveyard. That's mildly interesting. That's an interesting gambit of letting Bullseye go to our graveyard just so we can get a non-legendary version of him that's a mutant. Created a token that's a copy of a card exiled with this saga. The only problem is that I think when you move it to your command, move Bullseye to your command zone, you can't get chapters 2 or 3. Because it has no longer been exiled with the cloning of Shredder, because it will have lost track of your commander. Okay, that's definitely an advertisement. I was just trimming a fingernail. Nope. Or if it was, I missed it again, because they're wildly short commercials. Scroll to the top. Bunch of things for copy. Oh, you go into copy as well. It's funny how that from the turtle set still hasn't gotten its proper tags. Okay, I think the length of my hair is affecting the itchiness of my back. I think I'm going to put in my black removal pieces next. I'm not a fan of red's removal, if I'm being honest. The damage-based removal. Because it's either going to be an X-spell, or you kind of have to have a thing and hope for the best. And, like, even though I missed, like, a decade of Magic, I was there near the beginning of Magic, so everything that's not Lightning Bolt for red, I'm like, this could have been Lightning Bolt. This is not as good as Lightning Bolt. So many things that I feel are objectively worse than Lightning Bolt. I don't know if you heard that, but I cut my hair. And I do have a bag to put that in. And the back of my head feels great. Oh, there went a stray piece of hair onto the floor. Okay, where do I want to cut this to? Okay, at least to the bottom of my ear. So what I did, in case you're all wondering, is that I gathered it up in my hand. I don't know where that other half. And then, just gathered it all up in the back of my head. And then just kind of ran scissors through it. But not everything. There we go. Okay, my hair is now slightly uneven in the back, but I don't care. I guess it's slightly uneven on the sides. I can't see the sides of my own head. But I feel better. Especially since I was making my back itchy and it was going to make my neck sweat eventually. How are we on creatures, by the way? 7. Okay. Okay, let's get our ramp, actually. Ramp that we can sacrifice when we don't need it anymore. Core Soul Ring. I mean, he has 2 generic in his base cost. This time, you know, I have a good excuse. These 2 signets. Talisman. Not these ones. This one. Though really, MV equals to T art minus T creature O add. I like how I capitalized that A randomly right there. Do we want the Cold Steel Heart? I don't know. Well, you know what? This is the 2-color deck. We'll put in the ones that come into play tapped. Felwar Stone, Fire Diamond. We're going to keep this a low to the ground deck, so I'm not going to worry about the higher mana value ones. Mind Stone. Soul Stone, Iron Crag, Thought Vessel. Imagine you really need to win the game and just throwing the Soul Stone at someone. There we go. How many is that? That's 12 pieces of ramp. You know, I'm kind of fine with that, since they're also just cheap artifacts. And this isn't exactly a hype. There was still scratching, but I think it's mostly just to get the loose hair from my head. Yeah, where was I? Oh, that train fell right into the ocean. Something about these things. Anyway, I do want more creatures. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, whenever you sacrifice an artifact, and you add red. That's actually very cool. Whenever an opponent you control dies, you get a creature an opponent control dies. I'm like, ooh, I read that wrong. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this thing gets +1/+1 counter and you gain a life. I don't... And then this thing also gets bigger. But this thing gives us a red for that turn, so that's... Other things that care about us sacrificing artifacts. Sacrifice an artifact or land to draw a card. Okay, so this turns all artifacts into clues. I like that. Oh, original Tog. What's funny is I said I was going to do removal, and I did something completely different. Audacious Reshaper, sacrifice an artifact, recolor cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. that's a little too dangerous. Oh, hey, look. Barrage Ogre is a worse Bullseye, but he's a kindred spirit, so he goes. He doesn't do it on entry. That's why he's worse. This one deals damage equal to its mana value. That doesn't help us. Braids is kind of cool. This Braids is cool, but we're not doing that. Okay, Breya's Apprentice has the good impulsive draw, where it's slightly less impulsive because you have until the end of your next turn, not the one you're currently on. There's still chances that you might get something that you don't like or can't use, but you know. Oh, Castle Doom can create us. We can sacrifice an artifact to create Doom bots. I don't know about that one, but that's cool. Chandra is teaming up with a bad guy. Sacrifice an artifact to draw a card, and she makes she can make those 3/2 vehicles with crew 1. Bullseye's a bad dude, Chandra. You're in with a bad crowd. Okay, Contract Hero's not all that great, but oh hey, Cornered Crook at least deals 3 damage to any target, but it's only on enter. Okay, what is this Duretti? Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Oh, and then sacrifice an artifact to get an artifact back to your graveyard to the battlefield. I think we're gonna mess with that Duretti. Equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. That doesn't matter. Enters or attacks. Oh, and then he has his trade effect, but he has to attack. And then his Iconoclast. Construct. That's his +1. Oh, but you can also sacrifice an artifact, destroy artifacts or creatures. I like that. Demand Answers is that we can sacrifice an artifact to draw 2 cards. Sacrifice an artifact or land to draw a card. A little bit worse than that other one. But I think it might still be worth it because at least it's a draw without a discard afterward. This one's better because it's not a tap effect. Craft with artifact. Okay, hold on. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact other than Dire Blunderbuss. When you do, this creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature. You know what? That's fun. Craft with artifact. Exile this artifact. Exile another artifact you control or an artifact in your graveyard. Return this card transformed under its owner's control as a sorcery. Lose 1 life, you gain a life. +1/+1 counters. Sacrifice an artifact, 2 damage to each opponent. There we go. That's not bad. I'm wondering about the 2 that let us draw 2 cards. I forget where the other one was. There it is. Demand Answers and then Eviscerator's Insight. I don't know about those. I don't like one-off draw effects. Oh, I don't. I'm not sure about Idol of Oblivion because I don't know if we can reliably create tokens. I definitely want to make sure I get plenty of artifacts in here just for the munitions. That is going to go up to burn because that's not an outlet, and in my opinion, this is more of an outlet because it's not. You can theoretically do it more than once a turn. Tap effect, once a turn. Extruder, sacrifice another artifact, gets a +1/+1 counter. Sacrifice a creature, we get 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature. Remove a counter from a creature, create a treasure token. Sack an artifact, you get an Inkling. He's Fane the Broker's a little slow. Oh, sacrifice an artifact to certain. Oh, that's 3 or less. We want the other one. Goblin Welder, I think. Although I think that one makes us grab something from our deck and put it in our discard pile. Nope, the engineer's the one who does that. Yeah, the back of my head was very itchy. It still kind of itches, but I think that's residual. Sacrifice artifacts to get Greater Gargadon out quicker? Huh. I don't think he's worth it, but that's mildly interesting. Imskir Iron Eater. Affinity for artifacts. That's cool. Draw X cards and lose XI, for X is half the number of artifacts you control. And deals damage equal to mana value. That kind of ruins it, since we're doing cheapo artifacts. Huh. Ingenuity Engine's mildly interesting, although it costs 7. Forget that. It's just that it has Cascade, so that's cool. But you can sacrifice an artifact to bounce another artifact to your hand. Sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. And whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red. If you do, you get a goblin. You know what? I like that. And that and the crime novelist at the same time. Well, you'll always have the mana to pay this effect. Or at least when you're the one sacrificing artifacts. Sacrifice artifacts, get double red. Thinking about it. Sacrifice an artifact to get 2. That, huh. You know what? We're going to do both of those, but we're not counting them as in our ramp, even though that's the section they're going to go into. Oh, here's a creature where you can sacrifice a artifact to draw a card. Lander tokens is another type of token that We got to look for other things that make artifact tokens. Sacrifice an artifact. Choose one. Until end of turn. Oh, she steals stuff, so I don't want to do that. Makeshift munitions is 1 mana, 1 damage for an artifact or creature. So we're not really doing that. No. Oh, that gets energy. That's neat. Megatog. So it's like a tog but bigger. Mika copies instants and sorceries at the cost of an artifact. That's neat. Oni Cult Anvil. That was something I was thinking about. Whenever one or more... Okay, it tells me to restart. I don't want to restart right now. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, once a turn. Yeah, we're not doing the Oni Cult Anvil. I don't want to read these orcs. Oh, 2 damage to any target. Creates artifacts. Pay 3 to 2 damage to any target. That's basically our commander again. Definitely not reading the Priest of Yawgmoth. Jeez. Oh, Scrapyard Recombiner sacrifices artifacts to tutor up constructs. That's mildly interesting. This thing recurs based on mana value. That's mana value based, which does not help us. Until the end of your next turn, that's fine by me. Oh, sacrifice an artifact to draw a card. Paying 1. No, let's trading post. Sacrifice an artifact and you get an artifact. We're looking at sacrifice this artifact now. There's going to be a lot of just absolute junk garbage. Actually, no. We want when this artifact leaves. Okay, this is draw again. I also want to check types. 21 creatures, we're in a good spot. 16 artifacts isn't great since we know like 10 of them are our ramp pieces. But we do have things, we do have a non-zero number of things that create artifacts for us. Win this artifact. Leaves. Enters or leaves. Mauser Foundry is a little too low to the ground. I want the Ichor Wellspring for the record. It's weird that that's not enters or leaves. Oh, because leaves. That's right. Leaves also means exile. Duh. That's why they don't want enters or leaves. Forgot about exile for a second there, people. Draw a card and lose a life. That's fine. Enters or put in the graveyard. Search your library for a basic land. I don't like that it goes into your hand. I'd rather it go onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, this creates colorless construct. That is helpful to us. This makes a treasure token, so that's fine. And then servo schematic gives us a servo. What are we at? We're at 84. 21 artifacts that do... And we actually have ones that we want to sacrifice. Is permanent. Oh. Treasure. There's one thing I know I want. That's not it. That's non-creature spells. Ancient Copper Dragon just to mess with people? Sure. Oh, Black Market Connections. 1 life for a treasure, 2 life for a card. Yep. Oh, and there's Bullseye on it anyway. Oh, Goldbane Dragon is a great way to get more treasures. First day, Huma Huma. Oh, Killmonger in red. It's funny because you can't put all of the Killmongers in the same deck with one of the Killmongers as its commander, because one of them is black green and the other one is red. But it makes sense that between his two cards he's Jund. Oh, Luke Cage just creates treasure tokens at the beginning of combat on our turn. And we don't have to attack or nothing. Professional Facebreaker was the thing I was looking for. RMS Titanic. Did I call that deck insurance fraud? Because that's funny. Because I do believe I put the RMS Titanic at the head of a deck. I'm sure someone called it insurance fraud. Stark Executive making us treasure for not a great rate, but oh, there we go. But you know, you know what? Typhoid Mary can slink her way into this deck. Because she has a random, because we're not discarding cards, but she has a random chance of making us a treasure token or drawing us a card, or needling our opponents. We are at 92 with 27 creatures. 22 non-creature artifacts. Oh, you know what? Whoops, that was the wrong letter. We want the Simulacrum. Because we do have that one guy that we might take out of the deck. The Master, because we don't actually... Honestly, we don't... Oh, no, it says create a token of coffee. So wait, whenever a non-token... Oh, it's non-token. Yeah, we don't have enough artifact creatures in this deck, unfortunately, for the Master. Because we have Solemn. And there's something up here. Oh, wait, Bray's Apprentice, that's 2. and Marvin. Yeah, that's 3. That's not enough. Let's go back to categories to make sure. Okay. You are ramp. You are random. So we are going to call you draw just because it's the closest location. We're going to call you ramp even though that's a darn lie. We're going to put Pia's Revolution to burn. Just so it's not sitting in anything by itself. What's the backside of this? We're going to put that into burn as well. This lets me know that I have not put enough actual removal in this. And we are going to do that right now. Overkill is in removal. Good. It used to only go to instant. There was another. So T instant. Set. Marvel superheroes. Oh, Dark Deed, which is a technically better Grasp of Darkness. Because it has the same -4/-4. It's an instant, but instead of being double black, it's black and something else. Oh, it also has Bullseye on the art. No, there is better removal than that. Although this is good for stuff that's indestructible and has 4 or less toughness. I'm checking the newer sets for removal. What's funny is that we could put Mayhem cards in here, but I really do want to we will go for the throat. We will heartlessly act. We will grasp infernally. We will terminate. Just realized another thing. T equip O death. Basilisk collar. We might take some other stuff out for these things. Death touch. Death touch. Death touch on your turn, reach when it's not your turn. That's fun. That has to attack to get it. It doesn't say death anywhere in here. Unless it's one of those things where it goes between two words, and I don't feel like looking for that. Equipped creature has death touch. Quite a spike is kind of... Oh, Vorpal Sword is funny as heck. But quite a spike, since it makes people think you're going to attack with it to try to get people's life cut in half. So we're not going to do that. So scroll to the top. That put us at 102. This is going into removal. Maybe I'll remove 2 pieces of ramp. I think the Cold Steel. The Cold Steel Heart is... I think we'll remove 3 pieces of ramp. The ones that come into play tapped. The Heart, the Diamond, and the other Diamond. What is this one? Oh, this one gives you treasures. That's right. Okay. So now we're at 99 again. Ah. Oh, yeah. Possible finisher as long as you spend 8. You know what? At that point, we'll just put the quietest spike. There we go. Whoops. Because I don't feel like looking around for other stuff. Did that go into removal? Yeah, because it just gives them death touch. And you know what? We're going to hide you in removal as well. And all those equipments are artifacts that we can sacrifice if we need to. Like if someone's destroying it, we can just sacrifice it in response. And a Bullseye. We got to do this because I changed the name. We got to do this. There we go. Because I changed the name. Didn't mean to do that. Thankfully, the only things I ever really search on this browser pertain to stuff that when I'm making decks. Even if sometimes it doesn't make sense out of context. We're at 3 hours. 3 hours with 2 decks again. Yeah, I don't want to go over 3 hours. Well, I mean, I did, but I mean, you know what I mean. Next time, we're still going to be in Rakdos, because I don't think Madame Hydra is getting into deck, because she's going to go into that villainy deck. But Ares, I also realize that that was incredibly dumb. New deck. Ares. Whoops. Hold on. I like how it corrected me on the correct number of A's. I don't know how... Whoops. I don't know how many orcs are actually going to make into this deck, but I feel like it's in the correct spirit. And come on. Look at this moron. He's got an axe that thunder's hitting, that lightning, I assume, is hitting it. And he's got a rocket launcher straight out of the ending of many early Resident Evil games. And a lot of G.I. Joes. Anyway, we're not getting this guy this week. This guy will be the first one next week. But we are going to go back over here before I forget and go to the previous page. Look at that. We're going to be out of multicolor soon. Huh. So yeah. Oh, look, and it was asking me if I wanted to continue watching. I am going to do this and skip past the ad really quick. Hero theme, MK2. I assume that has nothing to do with Mortal Kombat. Anyway, see you next time.